You're watching the News Hour first. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest now. Joining us with us is Biswajit Deb Mitra. He's a political analyst. Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, is also with us. Rahul Easwar, author, is with us. We have Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. With us also is Mamata Banerjee, political analyst. But let me begin straight out with the spokesperson of the TMC, Mr. Biswajit Deb, is with us. Mr. Biswajit Deb, you heard all the comments. It's all out there. The BJP is saying that this kind of action, distancing from the member of parliament is not enough. There needs to be stronger action on part of the TMC to show that it is serious as far as Mahua Moitra and the comments that she has made, which they believe are extremely offensive to Hindus. Your response to that, sir?
All India Trinamool Congress has categorically made a statement that we condemn such particular statements made by the Honourable MP. This statement was made by her in her personal capacity, and we do not support such statements. Our leader Mamata Banerjee always says that TMC stands for temple, mosque and church, and we believe and respect all religions are equal, and we respect each and every religion. But the question is, you see, Mahua Moitra has categorically said that she does not support any film or any poster, or she has never used the word smoking, and she has made a categorical statement to that particular effect. But you see the other side, Nupur Sharma, what she did, and she was not at all apologetic, and she is moving around in spite of FIRs being filed against her throughout the country. Even the Supreme Court has said that her loose tongue has set the entire country on fire. She should have surrendered before the law, but she didn't did that because she has the support. 1 minute. She has the support of Modi government. She has the support. And I would like to say one thing, that BJP projects themselves as the messiah of the Hindus. What were their party doing and their government doing when the Hindus were being killed in Udaipur by their supporters?
So let's you've made many points. So there's limited time. Let me go one by one to the points that you've made. And before I go across to the BJP spokesperson, we can put those questions across to the BJP. But my simple question to you, Mr. Deb, is this: that you expect the BJP in the case of Nupur Sharma to take action, and you may have every reason to believe so. But if that is the case, that Nupur Sharma has offended the religious sentiments of one group, then if Mahua Moitra, the BJP says, has offended the religious sentiments of another group, then why not take similar action? There can't be a different yardstick for both, can there?
I understand what you are saying. We have already made a categorical statement that we do not support Mahua Moitra's statement, and TMC condemns that. We have made it very clear. But no. But I would like to say, what did Nupur Sharma do? She has set the entire country on fire. This is not our statement. This is a statement made by the Supreme Court of the country. She should respect that. And she should surrender before the law. This she is not doing because she has got the support of the present Modi government. That is her support.
Let me bring in Biswajit Deb Mitra on that note. Biswajit Deb Mitra, is there an equivalence to be drawn over here between what Nupur Sharma has said and what Mahua Moitra has said? Are there radically different statements in the manner in which the TMC spokesperson is presenting his arguments? Your response, Abhijit?
No, they're not really radically different. They're both statements of fact. Because remember, Nupur Sharma was quoting from a holy book, almost verbatim quote. Therein lies the problem. Now, I have to say that BJP has been remarkably consistent on this. They've condemned Nupur Sharma and they've condemned Mahua Moitra. The TMC, on the other hand, has only condemned Mahua Moitra this time. There is also a tweet from their youth wing president which puts up on a Shivalinga. Where were they at that point of time? I can show you the tweet right now if you want. They're absolutely quiet on that. Okay, and Mahua has said lots of things before also. Do you remember when she compared the Shivalinga to a atomic reactor and whatnot, saying this is also a Shivalinga? So at least to be thankful, I mean, nobody's supporting freedom of speech. Ultimately, it turns out that left or right, the average Indian is we will never enjoy freedom of speech in this country.
Let's be a little mindful of the language we're using on national television. But let me put that question across to Mr. Deb. Mr. Deb, simple question that is being put across by the political analyst here, Mr. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, is that often we have seen statements that are offensive to Hindus that have come out from leaders of the TMC, and perhaps it's not restricted to the TMC, but perhaps if action was taken earlier, even to the statements that were made by Mahua Moitra in context of Gyanvapi and several other issues that the country has been facing, perhaps we would not have reached this pass.
I do not agree. I'm sorry to say I do not agree with his statements. But I would like to say one thing, that the divisive politics of BJP has never been supported by the All India Trinamool Congress. Mamata Banerjee is a leader who respects each and every religion, and she has proved that. She has categorically said several times that TMC means temple, mosque and church, and we respect each and every religion like that.
Okay.
It is the statement of Mamata Banerjee, and it is always what Mamata Banerjee says, and we believe in that, and TMC believes in that. But the divisive politics of BJP, we have seen that just for their vote bank, the way they want to divide the society.
Okay, you made those points. You just made those points a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go across to BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawala. It is the BJP that is dividing society. Trinamool Congress treats everyone equally, says the Trinamool Congress spokesperson. Please respond.
TMC does not mean temple, mosque, church. It means Tushtikaran Mujhe Chaahie. And the evidence of that is the fact that Mahua Moitra is a serial offender. Her comments on the Shivling, her comments of Brahmins being Chotiwala Rakshas, or her comments now, or Sayoni Ghosh's despicable tweet, which Abhijit was referring to. She was rewarded with a ticket. Kunal Ghosh's statements on Ma Sita. There's a long litany, and this is the party, in fact, which put a ban on Durga Puja Visarjan. This is a party that gave only for appeasement batta to imams. This is a party which banned the word Ram Dhenu and replaced it with Rang Dhenu. This is a party which puts people in jail for Jai Shri Ram. Today, they should not be quoting out of the Chandi part. They should tell us what action they will take if they truly indeed believe that Ma Durga has been offended by the words of Mahua Moitra, or else they condone those statements and therefore they are not acting. Let me give you the example between the two cases. Nupur Sharma made her statements. She, by the way, withdrew those statements and was apologetic for it. Yet she was suspended from the primary membership of the party, and today that action has been taken. But on the other hand, Mahua Moitra is defending her statement, is in fact challenging everyone, including the media, saying I'm definitely not apologetic for it. All the TMC does is put out some condemnation tweet, takes no action against the list of these people who offended Hindu sentiments, and today has the gall to come out and say that look, we have taken action. What action will you take on her in the party? Point number one. And point number two, if your police can issue lookout notices for Nupur Sharma, 3 or 4 of them, when is the lookout notice being issued for Mahua Moitra? Please answer specifically, Mr. Deb, because I have much regard for you. On the other hand, you have Congress also. Congress will also come and say, no, we don't agree with Shashi Tharoor. But this is the same Shashi Tharoor who's offended Hindu sentiments by saying Bhikshu on Shivling. This is the same Congress party. Sir, please 1 second. Sir, 1 second.
Yeah, you made your point. Shehzad, let him respond. You pointed direct questions at TMC. We can't have all questions coming at the same time. Let the TMC respond to the direct charges that you made. Mr. Deb, it's not enough. The action you've taken is not enough. Show that you are serious about what you just said as far as distancing from Mahua Moitra by taking action, says the BJP. Otherwise, they'll continue the protest.
I am sorry to say that BJP has not, the government has not taken any positive action, any legal action against Nupur Sharma for spreading fire in the country.
Sir, but they at least suspended her.
As a party
Can the party at its own level take some action?
Specific.
Mr. Deb?
Pardon me?
The BJP says that they have suspended Nupur Sharma for 6 years for those comments.
Of course, but
it is for the legal machinery to take its action. She has approached the Supreme Court to club those cases. But the point that is being made, the legal aspect is one thing. The point is at the level of the party, will more action be taken? That's the question, and that's the demand of BJP.
Our immediate reaction, the All India Trinamool Congress has distanced itself from the comments made by Mahua Moitra and has categorically
when are you taking action on her?
That this statement was made in her personal capacity on her personal capacity. Now, what action?
Then why didn't you say that for other statements? Why just for this?
That you will see in due course. But please let us know. Please
What
let
due
the
course
country
is this,
know
boss?
that what
Please tell us
action
what
has
action
been
you're
taken
taking.
against
What due
Nupur
course?
Sharma after
Is
the
it
Supreme
kosher to
Court-
abuse Hindu
after
religion?
Supreme Court
Is it
has said
kosher
that
and
her
secular
loose
to
tongue-
abuse Hindu
her
religion?
loose tongue has set the country on fire.
Now you have
I
seen the
would
true
like to
colours,
ask you
Madhav.
again that what action has been taken? That Udaipur killing.
They will not
was
take single
basically
action
due
against
to the
those who
statement
abuse Hindu
made
religion.
by Nupur Sharma. Please tell us. Please let the country know.
Mr.
No,
Deb,
you are not
by
minister
just saying all
of
this,
the
you're
Hindu
making no
religion.
sense.
We
What is your
respect
action?
Hindu
Mr. Deb, it's very easy.
religion.
It's very easy to throw
You
stones
tell us.
at other
You
political
tell
parties,
us.
but many would
You
question
tell
what
us.
you're doing within.
Udaipur
All right, let me
killings.
take this across to our other guest now.
Who was
Tehseen Poonawala,
responsible?
direct
Who
question
was
coming in from
responsible
Shehzad
for
as
the
far
Udaipur
as
killing?
what
It is
Mr.
BJP,
Shashi Tharoor has said.
which is
Now it appears that the
responsible for
Congress
Udaipur killing.
member of parliament is
BJP
coming out to
member.
back Mahua
Who is
Moitra.
responsible
Is this the
for
official
Udaipur
position of the
killing?
Congress
It is
party?
BJP.
And many would raise a question as to when the party itself, when TMC itself is distancing from Mahua Moitra, at a time like this, Mahua Moitra's statement being supported by Mr. Tharoor is certainly going to raise some very serious questions.
Jai Ma Kaali, and thank you for having me on the show. I'm just going to make two very brief points. Point number one, and I'll answer your question very specifically about Dr. Tharoor, but point number one, today we are at a crossroads in our society where we need to discuss where freedom of speech goes. And of course, as a supporter of democracy and as we all a democratic nation, we would want to err on side of excess freedom of speech rather than less freedom of speech. However, freedom of speech cannot be selective. It cannot only apply to A religion and not apply to B religion. A subject can be spoken about, but B subject cannot be spoken about. So my opinion on this is that if we want freedom of speech, which we all should cherish and fight for, it should be equal for all religions. Nothing should be off the table. And that should come in the spirit of improving on opening the windows of society. To the second point on Dr. Tharoor, because that's your specific charge or the specific charge of the Bharatiya Jhutha Party. The Bharatiya Jhutha Party has no rights to give anyone any certificates or ask questions, because ask the Bharatiya Jhutha Party spokesperson to answer specifically what action did the BJP take on Naresh Agarwal. They took him in the BJP after, while being in the Samajwadi Party, on the floor of the house he insulted Lord Ram, and they made Mahesh Sharma ji a minister after on the floor of the house he raised questions on the birth of Ma Sita. So they of all the people have no right to give certificates either of Hinduism or of Indianness to anybody. They are the biggest Jhutha party in this country.
Okay, Shehzad, quick response, please.
Tell the spokesperson of AITC, All India Confused Caucus, that first of all, if you disassociate yourselves with Shashi Tharoor, what action are you taking on him? And secondly, if you are such a big harbinger of freedom of speech, then why did you ban satanic verses? Now you will come and say 20 years down the line, oh, it was a wrong move. But you banned satanic verses, you banned a whole list of books and movies, and today you are coming and lecturing us. Apne gireban mein jaakar dekho, All India Confused Caucus. And please tell us what action you're taking on Shashi Tharoor, and that gentleman can tell us what action he's taking on Mahua Moitra.
Okay, Tehseen.
Jai Ma
Tehseen,
Kaali.
should action be not taken on Mr. Tharoor if the Congress party is serious that this comment and one should be, there's a series of Congress leaders in fact who've come out in distance from the position of Mahua Moitra, but Mr. Tharoor endorsing her position is something that has clearly not just caused the party embarrassment, but is leading the BJP to ask for what action will be taken on Mr. Tharoor.
Dr. Tharoor is not the spokesperson of the Congress. The Congress officially distanced itself from Dr. Tharoor within a couple of seconds of Dr. Tharoor speaking. How long did it take the BJP to distance itself from Nupur Sharma until foreign countries did not come and embarrass the Honorable Prime Minister, our embarrassed Prime Minister? And therefore I'm saying the BJP for years, which promoted Naresh Agarwal, Congress hasn't done that, which promoted Mahesh Sharma ji, who insulted the birth of Ma Sita, who insulted Lord Ram on the floor of the parliament, and Arun Jaitley ji said that this man should be arrested. What did BJP do? Give his family tickets, took him in BJP with open arms. The BJP cannot preach to this country. It is only here to spread hate. Even in the Udaipur attack, people from BJP are rumored to be there. What is it? Why are there pictures with BJP leaders? Why not with other party leaders? Because the BJP is the bada jhagdalu party in this country.
Okay, 10 seconds, Shehzad. Quick response and I go across to Rahul Easwar.
Just one line. Just one. Since Tehseen is such a hardcore defender of Hindus tonight, what action did you take on the person who submitted the affidavit that Shri Ram doesn't exist and Ram Mandir should be not made? And before you talk, Tehseen, you're a poster boy of hypocrisy speaking for All India Confused Caucus.
Okay. All right. I have to intervene here. I can't keep this sparring happening between two brothers. Let me go across to other guests, please. Rahul Easwar. Now the simple question that I have to ask you is this: there are many.
Just one line.
Tessin, we'll come to you. We'll come to you, sir. Please, we cannot allow this continuous because you will say something, then he will respond. He'll say something, you will respond. There are others who have not yet spoken. Please bear with me. I'm coming back to you. Please bear with me. Rahul Easwar, simple question. There are those who are coming out to say that in India, the manner of worship, the mode of worship that we may, each of us practice, there are very, very different and divergent practices from state to state, from district to district. Within the district itself, there are very many different practices. And while the overwhelming majority of Hindus may be outraged by what Mahua Moitra is saying, what she has said, if is unpalatable to many, many would say is also rooted in some amount of fact.
Madhavji, this is the same fact some people will say to use to defend Nupur Sharma. See, facts can be misused and misinterpreted in particular ways to demean any religion, whether it be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Mata Kaali. Yes, there is diversity. There are many interpretations, but that doesn't mean one person can misrepresent, misinterpret, and demean. And I, as a normal Indian, beyond politics, find it a great thing. India being Vishwaguru, banning satanic verses, even before Saudi Arabia did, even before Pakistan did, even before 50 Islamic nations did. This is what makes India India, the celebration of diversity, what Vivekananda told in 1893. This is what makes India India, because this is the pluralism, positive secularism or pluralism that we espouse. See, why can't we have, there are two positions in this. One, let us disrespect all religions, the French model of secularism. That won't suit in India. We need an Indian model of secularism or an Indian model of pluralism, where every faith is being sensitive, shown sensitivity, where every religion is being shown sensitivity, whether it is Holy Mother Mary, Mata Kaali or Hazrat Aisha, that respect should be given to them. And what is the position of Supreme Court earlier? When Da Vinci Code was released, when there was a case in Honorable Supreme Court made it a point that there should be a strong disclaimer saying that this has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. See, I, being a person who adores Jesus Christ, felt offended because of the inaccurate descriptions on it. Yes, creative freedom is there, but please remember, there is no liberty without responsibility. There is no creativity without sensitivity. There are always Lakshmana Rekhas, and unless we respect Lakshmana Rekhas, we will end up in revenge kind of creativity. We will end up demeaning each other, attacking each other in the name of creativity. And I am a Hindu activist. I am proud to say I gave a complaint against Innocence of Muslim, a movie which demeans our Muslim brothers, which demeans Holy Quran. See, there are hate mongers who will misuse the occasion of free speech to spread hate speech. Please remember, freedom of expression is great, but free speech is not hate speech, and we should draw the line somewhere. Our culture, our constitution says there are some Lakshmana Rekhas, and unless we respect that Lakshmana Rekha, our freedom and our Sita Mata will be snatched away by Ravans, and they will say this is the freedom to kidnap.
Okay.
So always there should be Lakshmana Rekha, and that should be respected.
Let me bring in Anirban on that. Anirban, are Lakshman Rekhas only for a few? Or should it be something that everyone respects? Because end of the day, the constitution, the law of the land puts reasonable restrictions on free speech. You're a lawyer, you know that very well. So why should this rule then apply only to a few and not to everyone at large?
This rule applies to every constitution, every citizen bound by the constitution in India. And what I want to categorically mention is that what Madam Mahua Moitra responded to a question is simply a fact. She was simply stating a fact that Mother Kaali is worshipped in a variety of ways. Since we are a country of great diversity, especially the Hindu community in our country has many different social, religious and cultural practices. The cultural practices of the East may or may not be similar to what is practiced in the South or the West or the North. Therefore, that is the strength of the Hindu community in our country and in India as general. Therefore, she was mentioning a fact. The needless
but Anirban, that brings us back to the same point we were debating. Please excuse me for interrupting, but if I can just ask you a simple question. Tomorrow there will be another set of people who will come out and say that what was said by Nupur Sharma, they believe was based on some kind of fact. Not that it is correct, but if there are unpalatable facts about any religion, sir, why bring them out in the public domain where the potential to really, affect the sentiments of people and believers of that faith is there? Why not restrict oneself? That's the same question that should have been asked of Nupur Sharma. The same question certainly applies in that case to Mahua Moitra.
Let me answer. The tantric way of worshipping Mother Kaali has been practiced for centuries. For centuries. It is not for a few days or a few months. It has been practiced for centuries, and the tantric way of worshipping Mother Kali, it needs that you, even symbolically, you use the meat or alcohol or other elements that there is. It is written in the Rig Veda, it is written in the many scriptures, Hindu religious scriptures. There are hundreds years old Durga Pujas, Kali Pujas, Tara Pujas, where fish, meat, and what we call karon bari, that is symbolic alcohol, is actually presented before the goddess. It is not as if that we are encouraging somebody to eat meat or eat fish or drink alcohol or even prohibiting someone from doing that.
Okay.
It is simply a ritual that has taken place.
They are symbolic.
Sir, it is about offending people's religious sentiments. And I want to bring in Rahul Easwar on that point. Rahul Easwar,
Just one submission to Anirbanji. Please. Please remember, there are many symbolic things in all religions. Let us not decontextualize it. If we are going to decontextualize and apply to a particular context, we will end up fighting with each other. See, I personally know Nupur Sharma, I like her. But what she said under the garb of a fact was absolutely offensive. See, we can misinterpret things or, place it in a particular way so that it can demean community. And what Mahua Moitra said is absolutely demeaning in the context, especially a debate is going on Kaali Poster. Nearly all the people, whether they are right or left, condemn the poster. There has been unanimity, 99% unanimity saying that such depiction should be avoided, especially with cigarette. Right now, she is partially defending, indirectly defending, saying that it is freedom of expression is offensive. This is the reason why we went against M.F. Hussain too. We respect him as a painter, but some of the paintings cross the line. Unless you respect my line, how can I respect your line?
These are double standards, Mamata Banerjee. It's being hypocritical. It's being hypocritical to be outraged only by one statement and not by both.
Very clear.
The same yardstick has to apply to all, Mr. Banerjee.
Any film.
Mahua Moitra never referred to the particular cinema, documentary, poster or anything about smoking. She was referring
then
to
why
the
is TMC distance from a statement?
It's in the context, right?
No, then why is TMC distance? One second. Why is TMC distance then?
The TMC does not want any
if a statement was correct, then why should TMC distance in the first place?
No, it is a
TMC should come out and say there's nothing wrong with what she said. All her party spokespersons are coming out to distance from the statement.
Mahua Moitra was speaking at a conclave where she was speaking as a guest. She mentioned the fact.
That does not justify the statement. She may have been at a conclave, she may have been a guest, but she has to be mindful of what she's saying if she's a member of parliament. Abhijit Iyer Mitra.
Anybody who has witnessed a Kaali Puja knows.
Is it such a benign statement as Mr. Banerjee would like to have us believe?
Look, I completely buy Arindam's statement. I completely accept that Kali has different rites and rituals which are tantric across the board. But tell me, in which part of the world was Sayoni Ghosh's tweet putting a on a Shivalinga correct? Because I've yet to come across even a tantric practice that shows that.
Sayoni Ghosh was not a member of TMC when this alleged particular allegation was leveled against her. BJP is trying to divert the attention of the people from the high rise of price, from the high rise of prices.
Okay.
You're
diverting attention. You're diverting attention from basic issues of price rise, of unemployment, of development, so on and so forth. Shehzad Poonawala, by raising such issues, you're trying to divert the attention of the people. All right, you made a point, Mr. Deb. Quick response from BJP. Quick response from the BJP. Yes, Shehzad.
Yeah. Madhav, by the way, Sayoni made that statement and then she was rewarded subsequently by giving her a ticket. Yes. Kunal Ghosh was a member of the TMC when he made the comments about Ma Sita. You also had people from the TMC like Mahua Moitra making comments about Brahmins being Chotiwala Ravans. No action was taken. And in fact, today my question is only this, that if you believe the statement is condemnable, then why not go the whole hog? Here you find one TMC supporter coming out and defending it, the other one saying, yes, we've taken this action, but we won't go no further. This means that this is only cosmetic action, and therefore you must tell us what action needs to be taken. Secondly, Mahua Moitra made these comments. If she wanted to discuss, she could have discussed about price rise. Why did she make comments about Ma Kali? And now you tell me what action from the party's end will you take? Because Mr. Deb, you are a responsible party spokesperson. I am asking you a specific question. What action will you take on Mahua Moitra from the party?
All right. No, Mr. Deb has been asked that question. He hasn't responded, so therefore I do not want to go back to him. But I will ask Tehseen this. Tehseen, even when it comes to Dr. Tharoor, unfortunately, Dr. Tharoor has in the past also been accused of making many sensational claims and many sensational statements, from Scorpion on a shivling to Hindu Pakistan to Hindu Taliban, and therefore, in that context, I'm saying that Mr. Tharoor or Dr. Tharoor, perhaps action should have been taken on part of the party. Just distancing from a person who has made these kind of comments, which could potentially be offensive, is something that the party has not done, and therefore we are once again seeing him come out and make this statement.
Okay, but the party did condemn, and he's not said something that was which there should be any legal action on. He supported somebody else's statement, and the party has distanced itself from that point of view. So that's not the most pressing issue. The pressing issue out here, Madhav, is this. Look, for example, and this is the more important point. My wife, she worships Kal Bhairav. Now, there are Sattvic traditions. She follows the Tantric traditions. But that's between her and her Aradhya. That's not up for public discussion. And whatever is Mahua Moitra's position with regards to her worship and her devotion to Ma Kali, we respect that. The point out here, and I kind of agree and concur with what Rahul Easwar was saying, is the question asked to Mahua Moitra was specifically on that poster of Ma Kali. Now, I am all for creative liberty, but as Ranveer said earlier on your show, is creative liberty to bring betterment in your society, or is it for sensationalism or cheap internet brownie points? If it is the former, one can understand it. If it's the latter, which this poster seems to be, then that's condemnable. And that question to Mahua Moitra regarding that poster,
is the Lakshman
that's
Rekha
where the
only for
problem
a few?
started.
And I want to close this debate with comments from Abhijit on that. Abhijit, is the Lakshman Rekha only for a few in this country?
It's always been only for a few. Remember, the way the laws are structured, it always rewards the most law-breaking community that is willing to go out on the street, behead and riot. Because remember, offense, how do you measure offense? Giving offense, anybody can take offense. So the person who makes it the most vocal out on the street, it's essentially the street veto. It's the enshrining of the street veto. And remember, Hindus don't go around doing these things. Even today, what is happening, people are only filing FIRs against Mahua Moitra. Has anyone seen a death threat against her?
Right. We'll have to leave it there.
No.
We'll have to leave it there. I think the debate has been very clear. Positions have been very well articulated by all. But certainly, of course, the BJP says that it's not going to end its agitation unless the TMC takes some kind of decisive action on Mahua Moitra for what they deem are extremely offensive statements. To thank all our guests for joining us. Shehzad Poonawala of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Rahul Easwar, Mamata Banerjee, Biswajit Deb and Tehseen Poonawala.